Welcome to Trade Like a Sniper, episode 7. If you do not know what this series is about, go check out the other videos because I explain. So, today we have Ethereum USD. So, I thought I'd give a crypto pair a try. Okay, so I'm just trying out different pairs. So, without further ado, let's get into it and see if we can frame a single trade with top-down analysis starting from the monthly. So what I'll do is scrunch up the charts and shake it around a bit. I'll pick a date somewhere between 2021 and today. Okay, so let's go to the rewind tool. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch the spider by its toe. All right, let's reset the chart view. And let's start doing our annotations. So on the monthly chart, we have a monthly gap here. Great reaction. Just let me annotate this body high. Okay, because that adds more confluence to a gap. I'll annotate this as a busy 1 month. I'll just copy this here because I see one more up here. And this is a SIBI 1 month. By the way, these are ICT concepts that I'm using along with my own discoveries. There's actually a small gap here. Very interesting. So now we are on the monthly, and it looks like we are possibly coming into this gap here. As we can see, that it would be equilibrium. Let me just put a premium discount. Bumblebee. All right. So equilibrium is around there from the latest low over here. So now I'm going to go down to weekly and see if we can possibly frame a long. All right. So within this monthly gap, we have a weekly gap. Okay. So this is a refined area within the monthly. So we call this SIBI 1 week. And we also have one here. Normally with a SIBI, you would be expecting lower prices. But when a higher time frame PD array target objective has been hit, these will normally not make a new low and eventually start moving higher. I better reference this area just in case, because there's a gap down here. But it seems like it's using this gap as an inversion fair value gap. All right. I'm thinking, should I post another one? Okay, maybe we can go into the daily and have a look. Actually, let's start from the 5-day. All right. Now I'm on the daily chart and I'm going to stay here. We got a 5-day here, 5-day busy that got traded into, along with a, I guess you could say, not really an inversion fair value gap because the entire void is still is still open. But I will annotate it here. This is a 5-day. Okay, let's see if we can refine that. 4-day. Okay, so we have a 4-day here, and we have a 3-day here, and we have an order block here on the 3-day. And an order block does not have a gap. Normally, price will trade to the bodies. Okay, so we actually have a 3-day here. Okay, I'm going to move this down here just for reference on the 3-day. We already traded into a 5-day. So in case we come back, perhaps there's a long opportunity in there. So this is how I would do a top-down analysis, right? If you're doing this live, then you're able to, do all this beforehand and come up with a good bias and build a narrative on the lower time frames, which you'll be able to use kill zones, or quarterly theory, implement more of time, and as well as news events, and see more structure. Okay, but because this is a replay tool, I can't go to too low of the time frame. So likely maybe the 2-hour lowest at most. So let's go to the daily. Daily, trade it into, and then great. We have this manipulation down and expansion up into this area. So I'm gonna let the daily play out. One more time. Okay, we're in here. Now within this range, I would like to, you can see how it came to this order block here. I'm going to put a regular fib and make it a little bit smaller. Okay, this is the 3-day order block. So let's go down to 12 hours, see what we have. Let's go down to the 8-hour. And I think we'll go down to the 4-hour. All right, so let's see what we get. There's another gap in here on the 4-hour, but it's also this area. So let's see where we go. All right, we get a reaction here. I think if we get a reaction here, we can likely target the top. Let's see if we move higher. Okay, looks like we're going up, and it looks like this seemed like the bottom. So let's go down to the hourly. Hopefully this works. Okay, I get have a nice gap here. If price comes into here, I would like to take a long. This is one of my high probability gaps. With gap on the 1-hour. So let's let price play out a bit. Okay, quite a sharp rejection. Okay, we're in here. I'm wondering if I can go down to a lower time frame. Should I risk it? This is in 2022, maybe at 30 minutes. Okay, so we came in here under 30 minutes. This is a refined gap. So there are different ways to do this. For one, I could put a stop here. So if price comes up, I'll have my stop down here, and then I could target this high. But of course, smart thing to do would be to take partials. So I think one partial here. A little bit more here since it's not too much of a difference. And we want this high and eventually this high. Okay, so these are targets. But you should take partials to increase the probability of your wins. This trade will enter if price comes back up here, okay? Okay, seem to have entered there. All right, we got stopped out on this one. Seems to be we are going deeper into the gap. Let's do it again. We lost 1 hour there. If price comes back up here, if it moves up, we'll put our stop here. We get an opportunity. No opportunity yet. Let's just note where this is. Now we're back into this. If I'm not wrong, this was a daily gap. One more time. Okay, I'm going to remove that limit first. So we're down 1 R. Let's see if this bias is still valid. We make another low. Okay. We're lingering around this daily gap. Let's go to the hourly so we don't waste too much time. All right, looks like we're likely possibly getting lower or not. Okay. This breaker looks good. If we come down here, Let's go back to the 30 minutes, see if we get a better gap. It's a nice volume imbalance here. We could come in on a limit, on a market. Not the best RR. But we have the bias of reaching this final target. And we'll go back later to lower time frames to check it out. So this is all price offered at this area multiple times. So now we have an expansion up. I don't think we'll come all the way to the low. So I'll put my stop. I would like to go to lower time frames, but do not have that luxury. You can always pop a fib and say, all right, let's fast forward price a bit. A lot of volatility. Okay, so we had multiple targets hit. 1, 2, not yet this one. Maybe not at all. We'll see. Let's fast forward faster. At this point, you have some trendline liquidity forming here. Price may come down into here. So where are we now? We're in this weekly gap, I believe. We could put our stop to break even. Why not? I would put my stop to break even right now. Even if it comes down, comes up, we can take another entry, but we do not want to take a loss and price keeps moving lower. Let's fast forward this. All right, so, okay. Let me see where the initial stop loss was down here. So we had a RR of 2.26. Depending how much partials you've taken here and here, we can even round it to say 1.5. It really depends. These are targets. It's good to take partials a little bit off and manage a trade by setting your stop loss to break even. But that's based on your own discretion and your own risk tolerance and personality, right? Some people can take the drawdown and have more confidence. Some people are willing to take the loss. Some do not like to take a loss after taking partials, and they rather come out of a trade with some money in their hands, and they don't mind that if price came down and went back up. So it really depends on the person. There's no one way to do it, right? It really depends, and yeah, it just really depends. So yeah, we lost one and then we won one. Okay, so we had profit for today. Let's not push it. We'll call it, the session. Okay, this is being flexible. Sometimes you get stopped out, especially when you have a bias that's going up and you're on the lower time frames. Sometimes you get stopped out. It's important not to get in too quickly and let more price candles print. So let's go to the 4 hour. All right, I'm going to delete all this so we can actually have a look. I believe this was what was that? That was a 4 hour gap. Sorry, not a daily. That was a mistake. Right. Okay, so this is interesting. Let's have a look at this. We had a daily gap here. Yeah. And this is a great target for a daily gap, the high. The thing is, I can't go to higher time frames, as you already know from my previous videos, because I'll be able to see the entire candle, hit the target before the lower time frames even do that. So yeah, that would skew my bias. So with that in mind, let's go back to the lower time frame. This was the daily. Price trading back into the daily. Let's see what that looked like in the 30 minute. Over here, came back and then left the station. See again on the daily. This is the daily gap in here as well, the breaker. Remember, this was the 3 day. Remember our higher time frame bias. Price came into the monthly gap. with this support level, expanded higher, came into the weekly gap, came down, and then expanded up. So this is not showing that it wants to move lower. It created more buy side gaps, and it's disrespecting sell side gaps like this one, and it created more buy side gaps. That's when you know order flow is bullish. See here on the weekly, 1, 2, 3. Let's go to the 2-week because that's applicable. Came back down to around mean threshold. Not mean threshold. Wait, just came back down. There's a huge void here. So that monthly. So now it's in this monthly gap, right? So that's a good target, targeting this high. Let's just let it play out a bit. Let's play it out on the weekly just so we can see. So it came back in, going down, all the way down to this weekly gap. Coming into this weekly gap here. Okay, it came into this weekly gap. Let's see if it makes another low down here. Yes, it does. That's a trade in itself. 14%, no joke, on something like crypto. Down, now it's disrespecting this. Watch this. Watch this. Let's put a gap here. Sell side gap, right? CB. Let's see if price comes back into here and then shoots off. Okay, watch this. Let's see where the body closes. Okay, so yeah, this one didn't work. Price wanted to go lower back into this BISI. Let's forward things real time. Okay, this was what I was looking for. Price coming back into this inversion fair value gap. One more time. Okay, this is a nice gap here. I strongly believe that we'll be going higher from this gap. I love it. Okay, so having, I guess, the benefit of slowing down time by actually doing this in real time with live trades, going to lower time frames, moving up again, seeing what gaps are formed, etc., rather than pressing play and watching weekly gaps and trying to guess. So if on a lower time frame, this area, there may be some sort of news, CPI that just bursts right through this area. No, I wouldn't be putting a limit there. We want to see where the candle closes. Could we open up again, trade into it, trade into one more time. Who knows what event that was, but this is crypto. But look where the body is. It does not even close below this order block. And now we're here on this weekly. Let's go to the 4-hour. All right, so 4-hour. We have a nice gap here, and we have a nice gap here. Did we come into that? Nope. I like gaps. I'm a gap guy. All right, this is a 4-hour. This is a 4-hour here. If you want to use the magnet tool, you can just hold control, because otherwise I don't like it sticking to everything. This is a trade. You could just mark it buy at this close. Stop here. Let's go back to the daily for targets. There's no other PD arrays here on the daily. This is large wick, which could be seen as a target. So you have a target around a little bit less than the mean threshold, a little bit less than the consequent encroachment. I have it this high too. Let's go ahead, target these highs, and see if we get up to here. I know we're in a bull market now and crypto's at all-time highs, so eventually it will, but let's see if this is the area on the lower time frame. 4-hour. May come back down here, who knows? Fast forward it. Okay, so it came into this gap. Boom. This gap again. Consolidating as usual.
There's a lot of candles that are formed. I'd be constantly going back to the daily, to the weekly, to the monthly, see what has happened with those candles. All right. Let's just go to the daily because this is taking like forever. Remember, this was the weekly gap. Let's go back to the weekly then. Doesn't matter. Weekly gap here. 2 week, 3 week, 4 week. Oh, 4 weeks a month. And we see a monthly gap here that was formed. Very interesting. Okay, let's go back to the daily. This was the monthly gap. Remember, we got in a trade here, 4 hour. Price came all the way here into this monthly gap. Let's see what happens. Okay, we're in the daily, right? We see, oh no, the daily's closed below this. Let's see where price goes first. Back into this area. All right. Okay. Oh, all right. Target's hit. If you're holding on to this, yeah, obviously it would have been stopped out. Although almost hit the full target just by a little bit. It's up to you to manage that trade, right? So let's just delete this. No, let's not delete it. Let's put it to the side first. Let's go back to the monthly. Okay. All right. 1, 2, 3. Monthly gap. Up. Up. All right. Monthly gap took out that month's high. That traded into the gap. It took out that high and then started moving. Started moving lower. Back into this area, and now we came into this monthly gap. But you can go to the 2-month. There's a 2-month gap here. 3-month. No gap. 4-month. On the 4-month, that candle traded back into the down candle order block. 5-month. 6-month. 1 year, nothing much. 6-month. Okay, not too much to see there. The 3-week. All right, so yeah, as I said before, the highest probability targets, I think all of our targets got hit before eventually getting stopped out. This is a gap here on the 2-week, by the way. Okay, that could have been trying to target this random point. It doesn't get there yet, but eventually does. Comes into this gap, and then a premium array, then comes back into a discount, and then starts consolidating and moves higher from there. All right, so yeah, that's it for this session. I hope you found it insightful and gave you some ideas of how to get into trades using ICT's concepts. If you're into fair value gaps, if you're into order blocks, that's fine too. One thing to remember, and I have a video about this, is the bodies tell the story and the wicks do the damage. Okay, this is a very famous, popular quote that ICT likes to mention. It's so important. All right, wicks can do whatever, but you got to watch out where the bodies are. Okay, for example, there's an order block. The bodies don't come closing here. You see the wicks here, but the bodies are still quite high. For example, here, down candle trades into this somewhat of a breaker, generally an order block, larger order block as well. Comes down again, but you can see this body does not close below the mean threshold, even though the wick does. Comes here, you can see this body here, comes back into this area, which is a higher time frame. All right, the more candles that print, it's translating to a higher time frame. But generally, I like to go to a higher time frame and anticipate the next couple of candles, and then use a lower time frame to get into my trade. For example, it's fast one, yeah. Just let me highlight this in pink. There's a gap, and my highest probability target is here. Okay,
So I'd like to look for a trade in here. Don't know why this is green. Sorry for all my messy colors. And target this low. On the 2-week, let's go down to the 30-minute and see what that looks like. Here. Okay. That's it. On this time frame, it looks amazing. Like, wow, you caught that? That's great. Oh my gosh, teach me. Teach me how you do that. That's crazy. We look for this little soup, market maker model. There's probably an entry here on a lower time frame if you're into gaps. Okay, if not, look at this, the midpoint of that wick. Consequent encroachment of this remaining area. Look at that, right to tick. And then price moves lower, taking out that low. That's what I like to do. Just having that couple of candles on the higher time frame. Again, one more time. 2-week. What trade is that? That's just this trade. In, goes in here, takes out the low. That's it. Actually, sorry, this would be the low. Okay. And yeah, that's almost the entire range that you could have caught. Even if you caught it somewhere in here, you can even set a higher risk, higher RR if you're more experienced. But basically taking out the low, the highest probability, let me remove this, would be targeting the body low. That happens a little bit more often, especially if it's going to reverse back up. Okay, the low, wick low, high probability, body low even more. So I always take partials there. Here again, in, takes out this high. In, takes out that high. In, takes out that high. That's what happens when you have gaps, okay? That's how you should frame trades. All right, won't keep you up too long, blabbering on. Yeah, till next time, R2F signing out.